name is Holt. Super stoked to be here with you guys with another in the bag video. So I'm doing kind of an updated video right now of the discs in my bag because I'm heading to DDO this year in a couple of days. And I'm excited about it, but it's going to be a lot different than any sort of disc golf I've ever played. I grew up in the South, and any disc golf I've ever played has been in the woods for the most part, maybe a few holes that aren't. And so the distance and the wind of Emporia is going to be something for me to fight. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to help my disc golf game because obviously I'm going to learn. But it is going to change my approach significantly because as someone who plays in the woods, I love understable discs. I love my Stag. I love my Maverick. I love my Diamonds. I love things like that I can throw out, flip up, have them go a little bit right and left just because it's fun to follow lines like that. So that's normally what's in my bag, and I do still have some of that in my bag just in case the wind isn't crazy and I feel comfortable with those things. But I am bringing a lot more overstable stuff because from what I've seen on the Weather Channel, it's going to be like 20 to 30 miles an hour. So that's pretty freaking crazy. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start off with our putters, okay? So you guys know that I normally putt with the Keystone. But the Keystone has a glide of 5, and then a -1 turn, and then a 1 fade. So that's not going to do well in the wind. This thing is going to not do well if the wind is blowing. It will get picked up and shot back over my head. So I'm still bringing those, obviously. I have my throwing Keystone. Look how pretty this disc is. I have my throwing Keystone too that is beautiful. But I'm not going to throw that if the wind is up too much just because, again, it could end up in trouble. So I'm bringing this Harp with me. So the Harp is a 0.3 when it comes to turn and fade. Only has a glide of 3, so it's not going to get picked up and moved too much. And I've been putting with it in the backyard, and I can actually get it to the basket pretty good on like a straight line, even from 35 feet away. I've been practicing really committing to the putt and everything. So I have this for if the wind picks up, even though I'm like 15 feet away. Probably going to go for this if the wind is blowing just to make sure that I'm good to go. Throwing putters do still have the Keystone, obviously. And I love this thing. One of my favorite throwing putters that I've ever had. Absolutely love the Keystone. And then I'm also bringing this Chameleon Judge with me as well. Just because obviously the Judge is a little bit more overstable. Look how shiny it looks when the light hits it. It's pretty cool. So obviously a little more overstable. So I have this as well just in case I need that putter that's a little more able to fight some wind. So those are the putters that I've got with me. I'm happy with it. I think I've got things covered when it comes to overstable, understable, and then kind of stable. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Now, as for the mid-ranges, we've got 2 Justices. So I've got this main Justice that you guys see me throw all the time on my sidearm flex shots that I absolutely love. It is overstable, but it doesn't fight back like it used to because I've broken it in and it just doesn't fight back like it used to. So still bringing it and throwing it as well as this Justice right here, which is the Dimax. I turn it into like a little jawbreaker. But at the actual event, they're going to be selling some Moonshine Glow, just like beef Justices that I'm going to buy and immediately put it into the bag just to have as like, okay, I need this to go right with no chance of going left. Even if I have to do some sort of a flex with it, I know that it's going to come back. So I'm going to be putting that in my bag as well. I'll probably take this one out. This is like my backhand one. You guys know how there are certain discs where you're like, I only sidearm that thing. That's that Justice. I backhand this one for the most part. I also have a Lucidex Glimmer Verdict here, the Clemonade version. Got a lot of glide, but still overstable, so this will probably be for some backhand shots just to rip up there, have it do its thing. And then I do have the EMAC Truth here as well. I think this is Metal Flake, but this thing has gotten pretty understable for me. But I still need this. Just you never know. I'm not going to fully take it out of my bag. If it fits, I'm going to put it in there. So that's where we're at with the mid-ranges. And you guys can, if this is y'all's first time watching any of my videos, you can always go back and watch any of my rounds, and you'll see me throw the keystone in every single video, pretty much. You'll see me throw this if I'm scrambling, as well as these Justices. All of these are discs that I throw pretty frequently. So next, we've got a huge stack of drivers and distance drivers, okay? So if the wind is down and I want to get good distance, and when I say down, I mean like down, like not much wind at all. I've got the Sapphire and the World. I like to release these on a little bit of hyzer like this, and they flip up, go a little bit right, and then go straight for me. These are the two discs that I've thrown the furthest. I've thrown this like 419, 425, somewhere around there, and I actually threw that during a match. Like, I ripped it, and I was like, anybody have a Bushnell I can measure this thing? That was what this one did. And then the Sapphire I threw in the field and hit like 420 with it or something like that. So that's kind of my max distance. I'm not that big of a distance guy. So I have those, but if it's windy, not even going to touch these. They're not going to do anything. I also have a prototype of Vader, which I normally sidearm for very specific wood shots. But I know that it is it just feels good. And I know that this will fly pretty good in the wind as well. Obviously, going to practice with that. I have this Trespass from EMAC. I haven't practiced with it much. I need to, when I get up there, just like rip some off the tee, see how I'm feeling, especially in the wind. But I think that this will be a pretty good, like it's Lucidex, so it should be pretty beefy. It feels pretty good. I used to throw a Trespass, and I lost it a long time ago, but I have this one in here as well. I've got the Sergeant, and I'm kind of bagging this because it has a stamp from the 2020 GBO on it, because that was the last GBO that would have happened. Now it's the DDOs, the Dynamic Disc Open. So this is going to be for, like, it's a little overstable and just kind of a basic, probably sidearm shots with this if I don't want it to be too crazy like the Felon. But I'm not sure. Sometimes I just like having it in the bag. I can get some pretty good distance with this thing. The Adder, Westside Disc's newest disc. This thing is, like, this thing's good. This thing is good, and it is a beefcake. It handles, from what I've thrown in the wind, pretty good, as well as like really trying to rip it and turn it over on some forehand lines. It fights back. And my forehand, I can turn stuff over better than I can my backhand. So this was just PDGA approved. I do not believe you can buy them yet, but I would definitely be throwing this thing a good bit as well. I feel like this is going to be a staple in Nico's bag coming up. Just with how he likes to throw flex lines and stuff, this thing's a beast. And then next we've got, where is the other one? Next I have 1, 2. I don't really know why I'm carrying 3 of these, but they're all kind of different. So 3 Raiders. Now the Raider is negative 0.53, so not the most overstable, but it'll still get the job done for me. I've got a Chameleon one here that has the cool plastic. This is the most overstable Raider that I have. I can rip this out on like an anhyzer, and it'll hold it for a little bit, like kind of straight, and then just come back left. Super fun wood shots with this thing that I can accomplish. And then this other Raider here that I dyed, that's pretty good. This is kind of in the middle road. And then I have this Fusion Raider that all you guys have seen, that I can rip flat or on like a little, depending on how much speed I give it, a little bit of hyzer, and it flips up and will kind of hold and then come back left hard at the end. I do still have both diamonds in my bag just because I have room for them, and you never know. Even though I'm playing in the wind, there could be some scenarios where I need something really understable that I don't have to throw too hard to accomplish that. If I get stuck behind something or whatever. I have both of these. Now, just to talk about, I don't want to just talk about the DDO because a lot of these discs are in my bag anyways. The heavyweight diamond, if you were someone, honestly, anybody can throw this disc. Like, anybody can find a purpose for this disc in their bag, hands down. It just depends on angle control. One of my favorite shots that I recently started throwing with this was with long left-hand turns. So long backhand just shots that if you throw something too stable, it's going to just end up in the woods on the left side or whatever. This, if you throw this out like literally like this, it will stand up and push on that hyzer all the way and then like settle down really good. So that's a cool little trick you can do with understable discs. They don't always flip over right, but you can throw them on big time hyzer, especially if there's like gaps in trees and stuff. One of my favorite things to do is to grab one of my diamonds and just rip it almost vertical sometimes and have it stand up and turn, especially with this one. So this is the lightest weight diamond you can get. This thing is so much fun, man. You can do some crazy lines with that thing in the woods. Same with this one. So if you guys don't have a diamond and you don't play in the wind, definitely snag one. I will not be throwing those if there is any wind, obviously. Just got this new Lucidex 2021 Eric Oakley Felon. This thing is going to be a beefcake. Cannot wait to throw it. The Felon is my go-to sidearm disc, and I know that this thing will fight the wind for me. Especially since it's never been thrown. It's going to be a hoss. Next, I've got this Felon, which you guys have seen me throwing a lot. This one is super straight. And it can even go a little bit left. Like, I'll use this for long flex lines if I need it in the woods. But otherwise, I can throw it on a hyzer, and it'll kind of stand up a little bit just depending on the wind and everything. So I have that in my bag if I need a little bit straighter of a shot. Obviously, got to keep my stag in there. That's one of my favorite discs. It's just coming with me because he's my buddy. And then next, I've got a brand new Ballista Pro as well from this new 2020 Opto X Glimmer line. I believe it's a 14403, so almost like the Raider, but a little bit more overstable. But since it is in the Glimmer plastic, I think it's going to be a little bit more beefy. So I should be able to get some good rips out of this and trust that fairly well. And then I also have a recoil here as well that I'll be bringing with me to throw. I know that it's a good disc also, so we'll see. Both of these are Albert Tom discs, which is funny. They both kind of seem fairly similar, but yeah. So that's the bag, y'all. That's the bag for the DDO. The things that I'll switch out of this is like I have some other just random understable discs that I normally carry in my bag, but all my main staples are in here with my Raider, my Diamond, my Felon, my Keystones, all that kind of stuff, my Justices. But other than that, I've obviously brought in a lot more overstable stuff to just help us out a little bit. So that's going to be it for my bag. Wish me luck at the DDO. You guys can follow me live. It's going to be next weekend. The last weekend in April. So definitely check that out. You guys can see how I'm playing. I'm not sure of my tee times yet. But y'all can see how I'm playing and everything. And yeah, wish me luck. I'm not a big distance guy. We'll see how I do out there though. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.